Good afternoon and welcome to this Thursday Thought, except I'm doing this thought on a Wednesday afternoon because tomorrow I have a dental appointment. I had been to the dentist a few days ago for a routine cleaning and checkup, and of course they found something in the checkup that needed to be taken care of. I evidently have a tooth that has decay under its crown, and that means that they'll have to remove the crown and take a better look at it in order to determine the exact treatment that needs to be done. Now, treatment could consist of just removing the decay and replacing the crown, could mean a root canal, or possibly extraction and an implant. Of course, I'm hoping for the most conservative of these, the removal and replacement of the crown without the root canal or the extraction. Now, I don't know yet what he will decide to do. Most people don't like to see the dentist. I get it. I don't know how many root canals and crowns in my mouth, and I also have 2 implants. I've been seeing the dentist ever since I was about 9 years old. Back then, we had an older gentleman in town who did dentistry. We didn't have much money, and dental insurance wasn't a thing then, so I only saw him when absolutely necessary. We didn't do the preventive checkups back then. Well, I won't tell the entire story, but one of my front teeth got broken back then. We went to this dentist to try to get something that would work for me. He evidently didn't do the porcelain-infused metal crowns, so he tried to put just a giant filling on it. Of course, it wasn't at all permanent, and I had to regularly go back to have it re-glued or refit or something. But each time he did that, he'd grind on my tooth without anesthetic, telling me that it didn't really hurt. But it did. I'd about come out of the chair whenever he did that. And finally, at age 12, I was taken to a dentist out of town who did the more modern crowns, and he fixed me up with one that worked, and he used anesthetic as well. I had that one replaced 12 years later when I was 24. That's the one I still have. That's over 50 years old. So I get my distaste for dentistry, honestly. Now, of course, dentists now use all manner of aids to lessen the stress and discomfort. However, I still get that kind of a turning in my stomach whenever the time for the appointment approaches. And during the procedure, often there are sounds of grinding or other noises that, although they don't bring discomfort, they still tend to create images of what may be going on inside my mouth. So there's that thing that's going to happen tomorrow. Hopefully something will go right and I'll be able to be back in business in a very short time. However, if extraction's called for, I can do that too. I'll ask for a referral to the oral surgeon who did the other 2 extractions a couple of years ago. He'll also be the one to set up the implant. He did a great job for me. Very little discomfort, very little complication. But in the event I'm laid up for the day tomorrow, I'm doing this Thursday Thought today on Wednesday, and I'm going to make it public right away, so at least you'll know. Well, in other news, we've had to curtail at the church our non-member benevolence recently due to funding in June and earlier this month. The need was just greater than what we've ever seen before. Utility bills were the primary driver of the need. We do our best here to tithe or set aside 10% of our donations to the church for non-member benevolence. Now, we've far exceeded that by the first week in July in this budget year, so we've had to not only cut back, but just eliminate that service for a time until the budget catches up with the actual expenses. Now, I don't like to have to do this. I realize the need. I get the fact that there are many homes in Wichita right now who have no electric service or water service because of non-payment. And I get that it's hot out there, that many times there are children living in the house, or perhaps an elderly person or someone with medical equipment of some kind. I go back to my friend Jennifer White when I think of this. We can't do everything, she says, but we can do something. We can't fix all the ills in the world, or even the ills of those who come to our door or call our phone number at the church. But we can do something. We can do what we can do. We can use what God gives us. I believe we're doing that to the best of our ability right now. We've Not stopped, by the way, all benevolence. We still have members of a church here who are in need, who we are helping right now. The needs of our members are not subject to the suspension. We're doing what we can right now with what we have right now. And by the way, prayer is a very necessary part of this. We pray for wisdom. We pray for the circumstance and the situation. We pray for guidance. And you know, God provides. Thanks for listening. Blessings.